Welcome back to the Bluegrass. This beautiful October morning. I'm out with Waffles, about a 4.5-month-old Wirehaired Pointing Griffon. I also have Memphis with me, and Hunter is my co-pilot for today. And what we're doing is taking Waffles out on a little bit of an adventure hike. And we do this every morning with Waffles because although he's a real friendly, outgoing dog, he's still a little bit nervous about being away from his mom and dad. And so since he's here for adventure training, we try to start off every day with a little bit of an adventure. See how he's kind of a wiggle box, right? Okay, well, we're going to get to the obedience later, but what we got to get to first is we have to make him comfortable, right? And how we make dogs as comfortable is we put them around other confident, outgoing dogs, and we just let them follow them around and kind of get immersed in a natural style of learning. So I'm going to take him off the leash here, and I'm going to jump on my bike, and we're going to go out back, and we're going to let Waffles just do a little learning by doing. Come on, dogs. Very nice. Good dogs, very good. All right, for today's little hike, I'm just going to kind of be a Montessori director, right? I'm just out here moving around and letting that wire-haired pointing Griffon puppy just kind of investigate and gain confidence as a result of exploration. You know, a lot of people have problems with dogs that are reactive, have problems with dogs that don't have a lot of confidence, have problems with dogs that won't come back. And from my perspective, a lot of that just comes from the fact that people don't get out and do enough stuff with their puppies when they're in the formative developmental stages. If you'll go over here and watch, cameraman, you can see what valuable training looks like. Okay, now as a professional dog trainer, sometimes that surprises people when I don't show a whole bunch of specific 5-minute solutions to pulling on a leash or curing separation anxiety or resource guarding or this or that or the other. But you have to realize that most of those kind of problems are simply outgrowths of poor early foundation training, And when I say foundation training, what I really mean is foundation socialization. Just getting the dogs out and letting them be dogs, letting them learn the way that comes natural to them, And in my videos, you'll just hear me kind of refer to that as learning by doing. But I don't need to go over there and interject myself into this interaction. I need to let these puppies play, and I'm just going to kind of sit here and watch, make sure they don't wander off too far. And periodically, I'm going to move on down the trail, and what'll happen is they'll start to realize that if they don't pay attention to where I am, I get away from them, and they're still young enough to care about where I am in relation to them because I represent a sense of, leadership, a sense of safety, right? And so they like to goof off and play, but they like to do that when I'm pretty close. Now, if I was trying to micromanage their behavior right there, then what would end up happening is I would drive them away from me. Okay, think about that for a second. Think back to when you were a kid, and if there was somebody in your life that was constantly haranguing you with rules and expectations that got in the way of your fun, what did you do? You kind of tried to hide from them, hide from their oversight, right? I do the exact opposite. I get these puppies out here and I let them play so much, they just kind of get their fill of playing, and then periodically I kind of sneak off from them, okay? And when I sneak off from them, they'll look up out of that play and they'll be like, oh my gosh, where did Stonnie go? Where did our sense of security go? Where did the food go? Where did the attention go, And then they'll come find me, and they don't mind coming and finding me because when they find me, I'm just going to go back to letting them play and have a good time, right? So, cameraman, I'm going to go ahead and come past you so you can kind of follow me and let people see where I go down the way, and then I'm going to whistle for these dogs. So I'm going to get a little ways away. And right here we see a Catahoula Leopard Dog show up, and we see this lab's following me. And here in a second, I believe that another lab will show up, and I believe these puppies will follow too. Now we might have to get a little ways down the trail here, okay, for this to happen. But go back and see them, cameraman. Like you can kind of pivot in there, and you can see that those dogs do not like for me to get too far away. Come on, dogs. And so they're just going to come up here to where they're close to me, and because I kind of represent, a sense of security, like I said, and then they'll probably go back to playing. Let me get over here in the sun so you can see them a little better. And then watch those dogs come, try to find me. Good dogs, very nice. Oh my gosh. If Memphis is lollygagging a little bit, maybe I'll whistle for him. Come on, Memphis, come on. They're very good dogs. And you see there, Memphis, he was just kind of laying in the sun a little bit. And this is where our mentor dogs came along, come into play. Memphis was kind of lollygagging because he comes out here all the time. And he's like, Stonnie, you ain't going anywhere. I'm just going to stay right here. And then one of the mentor dogs came around and he's like, okay, all right, I'll get up and go. All right, I'm going to go down this hill a little bit here, cameraman. Come on, dogs, come on. Oh my gosh, look at these good dogs everywhere. These are very nice dogs. Now see here where I've kind of stopped, I let the dogs go down. Now if those dogs go around that path to the left right there, I'm gonna probably take a left. And I'm always trying to create a little space between the dogs and I, again, to prey on that, you know, that lingering sense of insecurity that young puppies have, where they want me to be close enough so that they feel like I'm available if needed, but not so close that they feel like I'm micromanaging. Okay. And now, since they didn't go that way, I'll just keep coming around our little path here. And we're going to use the same basic strategy. Now all my paths are mowed in figure eights. So like if the puppies go to get away from me, they'll generally just find the path and they'll end up like running into me. And it makes it seem like I can be everywhere at once. That's just a little psychological trick that I use. Okay. Another thing that I do is sometimes I just kind of take off and I go fast. And the dogs are like, oh my gosh, we got to chase Stonnie because he's going fast. We might be going to miss something. So just stay right here for a second, cameraman, and I'll take off and go down the path and then I'll turn around and come back. Come on, dogs. So I'll zoom off real quick. Oh, now I'm the chaser. Look. Very nice. All right, now we're going to head up to the world famous Brushpile challenge. I'm going to get off the bike, put the long line on the Wirehaired Pointing Griffon puppy, and we're going to introduce him to a kind of more natural obstacle than what he runs into up on our exercise with small challenges course. Come on, dogs, let's go. Come on, come on. All right, now we are at the world famous Brushpile challenge. And for those of you not familiar with my channel, we kind of established some simple baseline agility skills up on my exercise with small challenges course. But all that stuff is very stable and it's all very level. Okay, so it's an introduction to climbing and jumping and having to balance and having to develop what we call good proprioception. Okay, but to transfer that into real life situations so that dogs like this can learn to be safe in hunting or hiking or boating environments, we have to come out and we have to start looking for more natural obstacles, right? So what we do whenever we're trimming up brush, we just pile it up. And so over the years, this has kind of got to be a pretty famous challenge. Everybody always likes to see how the different dogs do when it comes to learning to negotiate the brush pile. Okay. And what makes this so important is that choosing where to place your feet when you're on this brush pile, it requires a type of mind-body synergy that you just don't get very many other places, okay? Because the brush pile is never the same twice, okay? So the puppies have to come out here and every day kind of pick a little bit of a different line. Okay, and so what I'm using this long line here for with this puppy is just to keep the puppy in the frame so that you guys can study the difference in how a dog who's more familiar with the brush pile challenges places his feet and versus a puppy that's only done it 2 or 3 times. Okay, and so what I'm doing is I'm just walking through here and I've got to look, and more importantly, I have to feel which of these limbs will support my weight, and that's the same thing that's going on with the dogs. Come on, Waffles, you can do it. So depending on the dog, you know, I expect more or less progress each time that we come out and climb the brush pile. But these little wire-haired pointing griffons are generally pretty, you know, they're pretty athletic and they're pretty sensitive. So they're not just kind of charging up the brush pile. Some dogs are super athletic. It's just that they're so confident and so outgoing that they just jump onto the brush pile and their feet will start sinking in because they're not careful enough to think about their foot placement. They're not careful about figuring out whether the particular pieces of brush will hold their weight. These wire-haired pointing griffons, they have a lot of athleticism, but they also have like a certain degree of caution to them that, from my perspective, makes them a real good house dog for people that go adventuring sometimes, right? And you can go back on my channel. I've had a lot of these here, made a lot of videos with wire-haired pointing griffons, and I've always been pretty happy with them, you know. Very nice. If I can get him up here just a little farther today, I'm gonna be really happy. Come on, nerd, you can do it. You can do it. And see, he wants to come up here, but he's just not sure exactly where to put his feet. You can kind of see there's some brush in front of him, and I'm not gonna pull him up here. I'm just using the leash to keep him from leaving. And I'm hoping that he'll just see Memphis up here, see Memphis getting a lot of love, maybe see Memphis getting some treats, and be like, well, if Memphis can do it, I can do it. And, you know, that way, like, Memphis is out here, he's learning to lead by learning to follow. So he follows dogs like Hank around, and then the young puppies, you know, because puppies like to hang out with other, you know, puppies their age. They see Memphis and they're like, well, if Memphis can do it, I can do it. And that's the kind of the whole principle. Now, see where I'm not getting much progress? So I'm gonna back up here and break this into some smaller bite-sized pieces, give him a couple of treats, see if I can't get his confidence moving in the right direction, maybe get his feet to move up just a little bit. There we go, good. See how I got him stretching? If I can just ever get him to move those feet just a little bit more, he's gonna start to figure this out. Come on, you can do it. Very nice, smart dog. Oh, watch that one. Come on, you can do it, you're a smart dog. Waffles is a very smart dog. He's a smart like Memphis. He's smart like Memphis. Oh, look at that. Very nice. Now you notice I had to go back to kind of a faster reinforcement schedule here, and part of the motivation here is that, you know, of course the dogs like these rewards, right? So they like to hear the click because they know that that means the reward's going to be delivered. But another thing that happens is this dog has a lot of experience of like having positive associations with clicker training. So like as soon as I start clicking and treating, then to him it's just like another training exercise. And he like, so he puts this whole thing, which is a new and novel concept, into a familiar like mental space, right? We call that pattern overlayment. We establish really strong patterns, and then we overlay new behaviors on the well-established patterns, right? So since I already have a good baseline of understanding established with this dog related to marker training, I'm able to maybe take and like get him excited about something that maybe he was nervous about a minute ago. Very nice. Go back here just a little bit more. I'd like for him to take maybe just a couple of more steps and hang out where Memphis is, and then we'll call that a day. Always remember, the fastest way to teach a puppy nothing is to teach them everything at once. So you want to make sure that you break up your training sessions into digestible pieces. And look at Memphis. Dude, you can't get it all. Very nice. You got to learn to share. Come on, Waffles, take one more step for me. We'll be done. There we go. Very good, dog. You're so smart. Very nice. All right, now, so I had put this leash on him so I could keep him in the frame so you guys could see. But now I feel like he's kind of got it. I'm gonna take the leash off, and then I'm gonna start navigating my way down the brush pile, and I'm gonna let this puppy figure it out. And then this is the exact same thing as I was doing with the bicycle, where I just take off, you know, and the dogs see me taking off and it looks like I have some place to go that's going to be fun, and so they want to follow, you know. And then on those days where they're having fun too, and like they're like, well, Stonnie might not be going to do the most fun thing because I'm kind of having the most fun, they still need me for security at this age. Now that technique doesn't work super well with mid-adolescent or post-adolescent dogs, but at this stage, it's money in the bank. So I'm gonna go ahead and get off here, see what happens. Perfect. Very nice. So we get us a little click and treat right there. Very good. And Hunter still being a good boy, the manager over here. Okay, all right. All right, so that's kind of what we're doing. I won't bore you with tons and tons of that. Maybe I'll make a few trips around and just throw some bike footage in here. But that's basically how we get new puppies over being nervous. Is we just come out and we get some physical exertion. Always remember there's an inverse relationship between physical exertion and anxiety. Okay, and he's going to be nice and tired. So when we go back up to the kennel, he's going to be ready to see all these people that are coming for lessons. He's not going to have any extra energy that's going to get spent jumping on people or licking them or biting them. You know, he's just going to chill out, relax, and have a good day, you know. So if you have a dog and they're a little under-socialized or they're a little bit nervous, just go out in nature and let them explore. Don't micromanage them. Be kind of a Montessori director for them. Let them build their confidence, okay, and then go work on your formal schoolwork. It's really a formula that we use constantly, and it's pretty much always successful. All right, I'll see you guys next week. Come on, dogs, let's go. Good dogs, very good dogs, smart dogs. What are you doing, Waffles? Waffles is a good boy. Waffles is a very good boy. Come on, let's go back to the kennel.